Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome into another edition of The Right Side of Campus. It is Monday, November 4th, 2019. Another day, another dollar, new week getting started. We got college basketball getting underway tomorrow. We got Monday Night Football tonight. We got college football to check out down the road this week. All sorts of stuff culminating into one right now. I'm the big man. Hope you're having a great day. What's up? Donnie, Rightside.
Jeff, I was having a fantastic day yesterday. Won some money, sat back, enjoyed the Ravens, just like that throwback type style, hard running game. Lamar Jackson making plays, Bill Belichick getting beat. And I wake up today, Jeff, I see you're in an Eagles shirt, I'm in an Eagles shirt. Yeah, we like the Eagles victory. And I want to throw up when I heard the press conference today, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I'll have to check it out. I'm sure it was, pretty nauseating. I don't know what. I have no idea what's going on. I had a busy morning, Don. I wasn't really around the Twitter.
Shoot.
Got a lot of stuff going on. But I'll have to check that out. Any major things?
It was basically like this. We tried to tell Deshaun Jackson to get surgery. He didn't want to. And we're going to get second and third opinions over the bye week, which means Deshaun's probably done for the season. And, Jeff, my favorite quote of all in this one for Doug Peterson, we're probably going to look to add a wide receiver this week. Oh, the deadline's this week. Awesome.
Donnie, would rather try to comprehend Chinese through Cyrillic lettering than try to explain the Eagles. They just annoy me. I actually really honestly have no interest in talking about them. I'm sick of it's like fucking solving a Rubik's Cube blind, Donnie. It's just so it's nauseating.
Yeah, but isn't stuff really like paint by numbers? Like, ask me or you on a couple shows, like week 4, like, hey, yeah, I don't know, Deshaun, we don't know when he's even going to start running again. Yeah, you know what? We need a wide receiver in here. Ooh, let's wait on that. And the trade deadline goes by. Yeah, we don't want to trade for like a Robbie Anderson, and D-Jax will be back. And what was the joke, Jeff? Yeah, we're going to get to see Deshaun for 4 plays, and he's going to be in the tent. Correction, Jeff. What are we saying for 3 plays? Good Lord.
No, they do this in every game. I mean, that's why if you're reading the injury report and you're like, you actually care like that Eagles players are back. The first week they don't play at all. They just say they're there and then they never play. I'd rather like throw up. I'd rather throw up and then eat it. That's kind of.
Can we get Akeem Nicks? Somebody?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe go see if Nate Brown's still catching balls. Like. I don't know. Let's
Jeff,
just go into something.
Hold on. Yeah. Before we slide, if the reason we're going to go out and look for a wide receiver, Jeff, and we bring back Jordan Matthews, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry on air because that's the move, right?
It's either Jordan Matthews or Greg Ward. It's not going to be anything. It's not going to be anything big. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would be interested in like Antonio Brown, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What else do we got, Donnie?
Let's do some headlines. You ready for some headlines here? This is fun. We're not going to actually – and the best part about this headline, Jeff, is we're going to talk about this game, but that's not the reason why we have a headline today, and that's for the Cleveland Browns. How many things can we go – because I know, Jeff, I was sending over the headlines for the show today. So when we go over them, Jeff's like, I don't really know too much about – and I hope you didn't research. Did you research any of this, or were you looking at anything? Oh, good. Perfect. So – it's about a football team, right? We could tell a little bit of a story that coming into the season, ultra hype. Just, I don't care what happens. Let's just assemble talent. Let's put a head coach that is funny at press conferences and take no prisoners. And we're not going to take any shit with the Browns. And let's have a GM that wears the same clothes every single day. Some big baggy, stupid ass Browns like hoodie and some shorts and, a stupid ass hat. And I'm going to say how great we are. And hey, Baker, you ready to become a Brown? You ready to become a Brown? Almost like it was like Pops from the guy that just passed away. God bless that guy from Friday. That's what he sounds like. So now we get to the game. Ready, Jeff? You come into the game. I'm going to preface. We're going to start. We're going to have 3 rounds of this. Round 1, Baker Mayfield comes to the stadium, right? Full beard, Jeff. Full beard. Ready? Full beard. All right. He's ready to go. He's feeling dangerous today. Pre-game warm-ups, Jeff. Shaves his beard down to a full Manchu. Have his mustache surrounded again, down by the beard. All right. Post-game. Shaved again, Jeff, so he just had the mustache on here. What do you think?
What do I think of Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, what do you think of that whole, does that mean he's ready to play, or are we thinking about other things, or maybe shaving 3 times in one day to get some different look?
Look, I don't know. I think I think he's having a little trouble. Like, I think he's having trouble with the fact that he's in the NFL now. I don't want to bang on the kid too bad. I don't think he's a great player. I said that, but I also think he is having trouble dealing with the level of fame that he's in. I think it looks to me personally like he has some sort of substance abuse problem personally. Like, I'm just being honest. I mean, he doesn't necessarily look healthy. Like you look at his skin tone, like I almost wanted to comment on like how pale he looked. Like he almost looks like there's something wrong with him. Like he looks like he's like crying out for like help in a way. Now he might be okay and there might be nothing wrong and he just had a bad day, but I don't know. He looks to me like there's some driving force in his life that's like it's too much for him. Again, like I don't think it has a lot to do with like the players on the team really outside of Baker Mayfield and the coach. I think they have talent. I think they're fundamentally they're a lot like the Eagles. They're fundamentally broken in a lot of spots. They commit a lot of bad penalties. They have the talent. I don't think they have a lot of direction. It was just kind of thrown together, and it's never really been cohesive or coherent. I think Baker Mayfield, to me, I've seen people that look like they're suffering from some sort of issue. He doesn't look healthy to me as far as like his look. He looks.
I don't know. He's on a ton of commercials. He's doing his thing.
Commercials can really. I think makeup can do a lot to somebody. But last night he just looked in that press conference. I think it was last night. He looked like disheveled. He looked sick to me. Maybe he didn't look like anyone else, but he looked sick to me personally.
So you think maybe he was shaving just to try to like get a new change up? Because I
think he. Not to interrupt, not real quick. I think he kind of was. I feel like it's just simply down to him. I think he's trying anything. Like, I think he's so at wit with himself that he's like, I don't think he really knows where to go. I think he needs some sort of direction. He reminds me a lot of Johnny Manziel. Like the way, like if you look at Manziel, he came across early as like he couldn't really handle things. And then it was like, oh, he's too much pressure on him. Then it got to, oh, now he's drinking a lot. Oh, now he's doing drugs. Now he's doing stuff. I kind of feel bad for the guy, to be honest. He looks not right to me. It looks like there's something wrong outside of football to me.
Yeah, doing too much is probably a lot of it too. Like, he had to be the cool guy with, hey, man, you know what? When we go to camp, I'm going to get a separate RV. Look at me, guys. I got an RV in the parking lot. Anybody want to see it from the press out here? Yep, just for quarterbacks only. Sometimes when you just lay a little bit lower, stay in your playbook, maybe you don't wake up dangerous every day and tell people about it. Now, this play is a 3-part act today, Jeff, for us with the Browns.
But Donnie, with Baker, it's all well and good, I think, until – back then for Hard Knocks, he was a rookie, I believe. And he had not really had any sort of pressure on him. Everything's great. I've often likened it, Donnie, to high school. When you're in that last week of high school, everybody's excited. We get to go to summer break and senior week and all this stuff. Then eventually, Donnie, summer ends. Everybody goes to college and you're sitting there, with your hand in your mouth saying, well, now what do I do? I also liken it, Donnie, to a personal point in my own life, and I know you were a part of it. I would liken it to last year. 2017-18, I had arguably the greatest season in the history of a sport. Okay. Last year, I decided to sell picks for college basketball. It was great until the pressure came to me, until I had to get to the point where I had to give picks out. And for like 9 games, I folded under the fucking lights. And everything I was doing was wrong. Everything I did was backwards. I wasn't thinking clearly. And I'm not saying I'm Baker Mayfield, but he looks like a different person to me. Like he look like, and people make jokes about it. You'll see people like Baker now, Baker with Cleveland years later. I'm not sure that I'd laugh at that. To me, that's sad. And it's not that he plays in Cleveland. It's not that he plays in LA. It doesn't matter where he plays. He has a problem. And I think we need to look deeper into what his problem is.
I think his problem is himself. I mean, I look at Josh Rosen different. Like, this kid never had a chance. Went into a shit bomb organization with Arizona. Gets traded to an even more shit bomb organization with the Dolphins. I look at Baker Mayfield that just like, I'm the type of guy. I won the Heisman. Look at me. I run from cops. I do whatever I want. I dance. I plant flags on the field. We dominate. And all of a sudden, when I suck, I can't really deal with it. Like, I can't keep up with it anymore. I talk such a big game and we suck and I suck. That's got to be a lot to do with it.
But I think that's with him. I think he's the prototypical, not just athlete, but famous person where, like, I think in his own, like, little area, it's all cool. And he's the big man on campus, as they say. You know, everybody loves him. But eventually it becomes he's so big that I don't think he knows how to deal with it. And I'm not going to say he brings it on himself. I actually feel bad for him at this point. I don't think he's a great player personally, but I also feel that I just think he has so much. He seems to me to have maybe some depression problems, like, and he almost lashes out. He almost kind of reminds me of myself at times, like with the way I have to be better with the way I deal with certain things, but he has some issues, I think. I don't think it's just football related. And I'm not going to just say he brings it on himself because I don't. I think, he was the best in college. He could plant flags and there not be any issue. He could run from a cop and, it's a slap in the wrist after all said and done. But now it's like, you're running an NFL team now and if he had a better coach, Donnie, I don't think he'd have these problems. I really don't. Because we've talked about coaches. Let's ask you. I'll ask you this, Donnie.
Yeah. Yep.
If Pete Carroll was his coach, you think those things would be going on with him? No way. No fucking way. He has no leadership. You go from Lincoln Riley to that? I mean, come on, man. I actually will say to John Dorsey and to that ownership, shame on you. Shame on you for bringing in these two shitheads. This is why this guy is the way he is. Because you people don't know how to coach him. He's a young man at the end of the day, Donnie. He's not perfect. Look at some of these guys with the coaches they have and some of these guys with the coaches they don't have. Look at Carson Wentz, prime example. Carson's a great quarterback. He's a smart kid. He's got his head on straight. But if he had Freddie Kitchens as a coach, he'd be similar. You can't.
Yeah, but he didn't come in with all the pomp and circumstance either.
Okay.
Like he came in and said, I'm the number 2 overall pick in the draft, but that's not how I look at things. I'm going to really get into business, where you see Baker Mayfield all over the place in the media. And then when you got to pay up, like, when you talk all that shit, and then the bully steps in and goes, now that we're face to face, what's up? Baker Mayfield's like, I was just kidding.
Yeah, I don't get that feel with him personally. I don't hate him like a lot of people do for his personal antics. I don't think he's like.
I actually don't hate him. I don't. But I'm just from just looking at it now, where he looks completely defeated because he doesn't have any answers left. Like, there's no more woke up dangerous Cleveland, join us down here today, because he had zero pressure on him. They stunk last year. He knew it. He could throw it all over the lot. Then all of a sudden, when the pressure ramped up and they're favorites to win their own division, and he collapsed on himself. That's what.
Listen, Donnie, brass tacks at the end of the day.
Yeah,
he's a quarterback with supreme talent. He's better than most Americans at everything. He's an athletic freak. If you give him the right coach, he would be better. He might not be a Pro Bowler, but he would be better. He wouldn't. I'm telling you, if he had Pete Carroll, I'm not even saying Pete Carroll. I'm not even saying Bill Belichick. Give him Cliff Kingsbury. Someone that fits who he is. Look at Kyler Murray. Is he the most physically gifted quarterback? No, but he's in the right system to make him good.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray also is a mute, though. Like, he didn't bring anything on himself. Donnie, he was the number 1 pick.
I've often said I don't mind an outspoken quarterback. I really don't.
I love an outspoken quarterback. I love it. Yes.
I personally like that. Like, again, brass tacks when it comes down to Baker Mayfield. I personally like his personality traits. I do. I think they are what you need to be as a quarterback. I don't mind talking shit. I don't mind any of that. And I think the kid can play. I'm just not with that group and not with this coach. They need to go out and hire the right coach. Stop with the Hugh Jackson. Stop with the fucking shithead Freddie Kitchens. Go out, Donnie, and get yourself a Matt Rule. Go out and get yourself a guy that can coach at this level. A really, really good coach. Not a coach who's just going to tell you how to play in the football field. A guy that you can go to and say, Coach, I'm really having trouble here. I don't know what else to do. Because, Donnie, we're all human at the end of the day. People don't realize that you and me are regular people. Like, I have the same regular problems you do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to lose eventually in the NBA. I'm going to, we all have problems, Donnie. Mm-hmm. It's a shame that he doesn't have the right leadership. Because if he did, I don't think he would be struggling like this. And I think it's wearing off on him to the point of, I think he's just got too much pressure on him.
Yeah, young coach, young quarterback, expectations high. Nobody's delivering. Now, this second act, Jeff, talking about Baker Mayfield, shaven, not shaven, head clearly not in the game. This was my favorite, and I read it. It was from Pro Football Talk yesterday. It was the article that came out a little bit later explaining like what was going on during the game. And here's where my issue is completely with this team and how it's assembled, because you can get all the talent in the same room. But if everybody's on their own page, it doesn't give a damn about winning. It's just about the show of the game. This is what you get. So during the week, the Browns, I believe, petitioned the NFL, said we want to wear all brown this weekend during this football game on the road. The NFL gave them the okay to go ahead and do that. So what takes place on Wednesday, they find out what their uniform is going to be. But here's the backstory on this, Jeff, which is the one that makes me laugh the most and is the exact, scenario what the Browns are cooking in right now. OBJ was said after the game, this ties into it, and they interviewed, said, look, man, I go every year a couple weeks out to Oregon to Nike headquarters and plan my cleats accordingly for each and every game that we have. This week, it got surprised on us that we had brown uniforms. I had my Joker shoes all ready to go, and I wanted to wear them, and, the NFL told me I couldn't because it didn't match our color coordination scheme. So he said, well, I had to go back in and get a regular pair of shoes. This, and the same thing with Jarvis Landry, did the same exact thing. This is what's wrong with the Browns. You have players that only care about the show, Jeff. And how many times have I brought it up here right on this broadcast or anywhere we talk about games with OBJ? He's got to color coordinate for the pregame. He's got to have his different cleats for the game, different cleats for pregame, different shoulder sleeves for pregame, different gloves for pregame, different watches for pregame, different visors for pregame. Then he goes back in, and it's like pit stop in fucking NASCAR where he gets everything shipped and changed out. His head, he doesn't care about winning the game. It's just about him.
It's not. Let me again bring this to a bigger, and I'm sure you'll agree. Let me bring this to a bigger level. It all goes to the culture of the organization. This is a run amok franchise for years, Donnie. This is what they accept there. You've got players, caring about how they look on the field before the game and not during it. You got a player at quarterback who's hurting. It's clear. You have egomaniacs everywhere. You've guys, that barely play, tweeting at fans to kill themselves. Like, this is what is acceptable there. This is what is acceptable in Cleveland. You need a complete overhaul. Everybody out. GM out, coach out, quarterback. Get him somebody to help. Get these fucking idiot lunatics out. It's not just Cleveland. There's other teams like this as well. But this is the worst situation in the NFL. You have to set a fucking tone. This is how we do things here. If you don't like it, fuck off. The Patriots do it. Look at them. Works for them, doesn't it, Donnie? Look at the Philadelphia Eagles, the year they won the Super Bowl. Culture. Look at the Rams last year. Culture. Every team, Seattle, New Orleans, there's a reason they're all good every year, Donnie, because they have culture and the right leaders. It's not just college where you need good coaches and leadership. You need it everywhere. These are people at the end of the day. We all have bosses. We all have direction. Donnie, you work at Primo's. You're Primo's. You had a culture there, didn't you? You had a culture of this is how we do things here. And that's a great point. Devin Wade, a lot of egomaniacs. That's exactly right. This team is a fucking mess. This ownership is a mess. Everything about them is a mess. And it comes down to shit like you just said about this isn't how we do things here. You're not going to do things that you want to do. It's what we do. It wouldn't surprise me if Odell Beckham personally drives to the stadium himself. He doesn't ride the team bus. He thinks he's better than everybody else. Listen, Odell, if you want to go be a fucking fashion designer, move to fucking Milan and do that. Either you're a football player or you're a fucking fashion icon. You're not Karl Lagerfeld. You're a fucking football player. Fucking act like it. It's this whole team. It's Landry. It's that dumbass on the defense. It's telling fans that he's going to kill them. There's no leadership here. This is the point. It's that simple.
No, you're exactly correct. And but that was the third part of act was it Tahir Whitehead? Who was it that got Can today. Whitehead, yeah. So he's after the game, after they were embarrassing, and he was embarrassing on the field. So he's just taking aim at fans, which is the last thing you do. You don't take aim at customers. You don't take aim GM or people in the media throwing out racist taunts to him. And as soon as he got the team playing this morning, he was releasing cut.
What was that?
Yeah, he was calling all the white guys crackers, like in the media and stuff. He went
kind of funny, but
he went like one of those things where you just got back in. It's one of those things can you picture this, Jeff? You guys know you didn't show up on Sunday. You know the heat's coming to you. You're walking into the locker room, and all you can think about is getting to your phone and getting on Twitter because you know guys are flaming you left and right. And instead of taking a 10-minute cool down period, you go right to your phone and let loose on media members, on fans. You tell them you're going to kill them, blood on blood, you cracker, come get this. That's just, and again, what does it get back to, Jeff, in the Cleveland Browns culture? That's the culture right now. We're just going to be, everybody's on a different page. Nobody's looking out for yourself. Nobody's pulling in the same direction, and the season is slipping away.
Yeah, it's not slipping away. It's slipped away. You're not coming back from this. And the truth of the matter is, this is where, Donnie, with teams like this, people are talking about he put together quite the team. The team doesn't matter. All the teams are good, Donnie, in the NFL. They all have players that are competent enough that can score points. It doesn't matter what the team is. It's who runs the team and who puts together the culture. Donnie, do you think Freddie Kitchens has culture?
No, he has not. It's a guy that rose up the ranks too quick, and it's almost like he has the same Baker Mayfield field. You transfer to Oklahoma, you get all this accolades, you win the Heisman Trophy, you're the number one pick. You're like, this is always going to be this way. Well, Freddie Kitchens is like a running back coach within a blink of an eye. He's a head football coach, and it's like, you know what? I deserve this. I'm going to do it my way.
Donnie, I have a keen, and there might be one thing about me, Donnie, that's physically unbelievable or mentally unbelievable. I can literally tell you when a coach is hired right away whether it will work or not. I don't think I've ever been wrong on a coach. Maybe one, but whether it's NFL or pro, I'm sure you college, whatever. Yeah. A coach is either good or not. It's not you look at there's random guys, Donnie, like the Mike Munchaks, the guys that just move around. Yep. They're fill-in coaches. They're not long-term. And anyone that hires those sort of people are bad franchises. Good franchises don't hire those types of people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's no one on earth that thought Freddie Kitchens was the right hire, except the fucking idiots in Cleveland. It's not Cleveland. It's not where they're. It's the fact that they didn't hire the right coach. It's that simple.
They need to get back to their basics. Scrap these awful uniforms. Go back to those awesome uniforms of the early 90s before you got, trucked out of town and went to the Baltimore Ravens. Go back to that. You got to get rid of it. It all starts with the ownership. Has been brutal. This is the ownership, again, that hires baseball people to run their front office, lawyers to be GMs because they did a good job fighting a tax case for them in other areas. It starts from the absolute top, and it's never going to get better until you sell to a Mark Cuban type of guy where he's like, you know what? This isn't the way we do things around here. Here's what we're going to do. Just somebody who's invested in the team as opposed to just saying hey, let me just take some money out of this thing.
Whether it's Cincinnati, Cleveland, Tennessee, all these smaller markets, it's just not going to work. It never will.
Yeah, OBJ thought he was getting his wish here. Let's switch it up here, Jeff. Look at that. We spent about 25 minutes on the Cleveland Browns, which is good. It's about what I did want to spend on. We're going to flip it over to college football here for just a moment. Some interesting news that came out yesterday, which I was actually surprised they did it, but I got to give credit. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan. I laugh at everything when FSU trips up or falls down. And the one thing I took a picture of, if you follow me on Twitter on Saturday, was a Miami Hurricanes fan in the stands at Doak Campbell that had basically a voting shirt that said "Keep Willie Taggart" with a check, and I completely agreed. The one thing that you say, guys that go and fail, or maybe it was a high or two up, I give Florida State credit because this was an absolute unmitigated disaster of a hire. But credit to them for ponying up 20 or 25 million just to make the guys go away. Credit Florida State, man. They got bigger picture, bigger plans. It didn't work under Jimbo late. He left. But when you admit that you hired the wrong guy, get him out of town as fast as you can, no matter what the monetary status is. I give him props.
Yeah, this is another thing. I think we all were well aware that Willie Taggart was the wrong hire. Willie Taggart is a guy that should coach South Florida, Even like
or even was in Oregon, hidden away, no real pressure, so to speak. For hey, if you do what you do, that's fine. But yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
No, I'm good with like even lower end Power 5. You want to coach, Maryland or like somewhere Illinois, somewhere like that. Good, that's fine for Willie Taggart. But Florida State, Alabama, Auburn, Michigan, Notre Dame, those aren't. Look at Charlie Strong, prime example. Charlie Strong is not a good coach at Texas or some of those higher end programs. Now at South Florida, he's an okay coach. Donnie, here's the thing at the end of the day. Good for them for pony up money, whether it was private funds or funds that they created with a fundraiser. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of people would just eat it and say, you know what, we'll just keep playing bad. But again, the problem with Willie Taggart was there was never a prototypical. You didn't get one of those big wins. You were always struggling against good teams. You're always struggling against bad teams too. I mean, there were very few real big wins that they've ever had.
No, they had like one top 20 win, and it was against like BC last year. It was probably like 20th.
Yeah, no, that was last year, sure. But this year you're struggling with UL Monroe and just teams that you should be beating. I think at some point you had to realize it. The offense has been horrific. This offense has been one of the worst in the country, particularly in the Power 5. It's one of the worst offenses.
Yeah, like you can't you know what I mean? It's one of those guys, Jeff, where you can like surprise like an AAC type team or a Sun Belt team, and you run really fast and you have some good athletes and you can make it work. When you play big boy football and your offense is a gimmick, it doesn't work. And when it's your offense that you bring to town, and it was horrendous last year, and then you go out and say, well, let's just bring in a new offensive coordinator, Kendall Briles, and maybe he'll fix it. You already saw the sticky tape going up against us. Like this isn't going to work. And again, I have to say, most schools say, look, we hired this guy and we got to at least give him like 3 years. They cut the cord, and good for them. Now Odell Haggins gets it, and he'll get a lot of hype. The Ed Orgeron of Florida State. We'll see what happens, but I don't think they're going to make a bowl game at this point.
Well, I will say this. I would keep Briles. He would be someone I would retain for sure. He's an offensive coordinator that I want on my side. As far as who do you go after?
Yeah,
I think you park the fucking Mack truck up to Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell would be a terrific coach for Florida State. He can coach at the next level. His offensive tactics are unbelievable.
Now, would he fall down like Justin Fuente did at Virginia Tech?
No, I don't think he would. I think Mike Norvell's been seasoned long enough. I would also consider PJ Fleck. It's all about culture. A place like Florida State, you need culture. You need someone that could come in and create a culture for a program. Norvell can do that. PJ Fleck can do that. Both would be good options. For me, though, I would look more towards Norvell. I think he can handle that. Look, Tallahassee's got to get back to, Donnie, the years where they're going out and getting big recruits. They're losing to Clemson badly. So even UCF. I mean, UCF's probably getting some guys as well. So they need to get back to where they were. I think Mike Norvell would be a perfect hire. That would be where I would go.
And sticking on hires here, Jeff, that we have, I compiled a little list of the top 5, or in no particular order, top 5 of the worst hires. Now, look, we're not going to go back to like 1940, like who replaced like Frank Leahy at Notre Dame type stuff. Guys that you would know, just shockingly poor hires that, you know what, based on Willie Taggart's horrible performance, he's not even on this list, Jeff. So he's not even as bad as these 5 that I have. Let's go right down this list. We're going to start with number 5 on the list, Jeff. Greg Robinson at Syracuse. Remember Greg Robinson at Syracuse? NFL type guy, goes in there, defensive coordinator. He was supposed to turn Syracuse around. Well, in the mid-2000s, Jeff, he gets 4 years. 1-10, 4-8, 2-10, 3-9, and his quote on his way out the door: I left this place in a better place than I started at. Congratulations, Greg Robinson. Now we're going to go. I know you'll like this one, Jeff. We always talk about this delusional fan base right here. Number 4, Rich Rod at Michigan, 3 years, Jeff. 3-9, 5-7, 7-6, hit the road, didn't mesh with anybody. Now, the thing I did like about it, he wasn't a Michigan man, and the Michigan people wouldn't allow that. So maybe if Rich Rod was a Michigan man, he would have kept his job, even though he stunk. Number 3 on the list.
I actually don't hate that one, actually.
Number 3,
I
Jeff.
think Brady Hoke was even worse.
No, they were all bad. I thought they were all bad.
I didn't hate Rich Rod, though. I thought he was like a decent, I don't know, personally. I thought he was a decent guy. I just didn't.
They turned on that dude, man.
Oh, they definitely
in a minute, which was crazy. But look, when you go to a school with a lot of culture, that's that Penn State type culture, like you better be one of us, and you start rattling the cages right away, they look for you to lose, and they did there. Number 3, this one really, really is at the top of my list. Ty Willingham, not at Stanford, not at Notre Dame, Washington, Jeff. At Washington, 2-9, 5-7, 4-9. In his last year, Jeff, at Washington, 0-12.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, whether it was wherever he was, it was weird. I mean, the Notre Dame hire was odd as well.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think they started out one year too, like 8-0 or something like that, and then they just went up in flames. Here's another good one here. Now, this guy was really bad, didn't help the cause, and not only on his way out, probably cost the university millions of dollars and killing kids. Tim Beckman, Illinois, Jeff. Remember him?
Yeah,
a couple years ago?
Awful one.
Jesus. And then number one on the list, this guy, it's not, again, this isn't the number one worst coach, but just number one on this 5-man list. He shouldn't have been put in this spot. He was doomed to absolutely fail, and he did, and he got bought out and made a lot of money.
David Beatty?
Charlie Strong, Texas.
Oh,
6-7, 5-7, 5-7. Didn't even make a bowl of. Imagine being at Texas, Jeff, having the biggest budget in all of college football, the most the most fertile recruiting ground, where you just show up at a guy's doorstep in Texas who's the best player. You say Texas wants you. You go to Texas. He bombed out real fast in that high. But then again, he's taken over from Mac Brown. What did you want him to do? You had to do better than that, though.
No, I'll throw a couple to you. David Beatty at Kansas was terrific. I mean,
but see, what did you expect though from Kansas?
I'll tell you what.
That's why I actually didn't put
Les
him on
Miles
the
is doing Les Miles this year's won more games than David Beatty did in his entire career. Yeah. Another one, Lane Kiffin at Tennessee was horrible. It was a terrible hire.
It was a terrible hire because he did it to himself. Like, he didn't even give himself, like, I'm going to go 1 year and bounce. You idiot. Jesus.
No, Steve Sarkisian, USC was pretty bad. David Beatty was terrible. I mean, David Beatty has no business as a coach, really at any level.
All right, let's keep on skipping through real quick, Jeff. Scott Boras clients. And the reason I bring this up here is, baseball is done, but free agency is actually already here. Do you know who 2 Scott Boras clients are, Jeff, pitchers? Can you name the 2, the big ones?
Garrett Cole and
yes. This guy just opted out of his contract. Had 4 years, $100 million left, and opted out. Who is that? He's in Washington.
Strasburg.
So you got 2 of those. I'm going to give you a buy or sell right now. You know what Strasburg does. He strangles the market, holds teams hostage. March 15th, Jeff, which is like what? A week and a half away from like opening day. Are both of these pitchers under contract, yes or no, by March 15th? Both of them.
Yes.
Ooh, cool. How about that?
Phillies and Yankees.
Oh, okay. So he's not going to play it out to the very end again?
No.
Baseball
Shout out to San Diego State, too. Steven Strasburg.
There you go. Absolutely. And who's the Tony Gwynn was the coach. Golden State season, Jeff, real quick in the headlines.
One other thing, that's a good one by Chad Morris at Arkansas has been a horrible hire.
Yeah, he's going to get bounced out. He was too new to put on there for me.
SMU, yeah.
Golden State season, Jeff. Question for you here on this. Talking a little bit NBA. You see the 3-month injury for Steph Curry. Draymond Green hurts his finger. Who knows? Smart or not smart? Pack it in. And get the number. Try for the number 1 overall pick if you're Golden State and capitalize like the Cowboys did a few years ago when they got Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, I definitely buy that. Yeah. I think this is a bad basketball team right now. I mean, defensively, even with those guys, they were horrific defensively. They've never been a good defensive team, at least the last year or two. I would do it. I mean, because you're going to have guys in this next wave coming up. The James Wisemans. Listen. I'm going to continue to tell this. LaMelo Ball is going to be the number 1 overall pick. He's going to be the Kyler Murray type of player. He's that good. But yeah, if I were the Warriors, I would. I mean, you've won a lot. I mean, it's not like it's
rest them. Like what are you getting at it? You're getting nothing out of the season. Get a high draft pick, and then you're starting 5 next year. Let's just say LaMelo Ball. Obviously you got Steph Curry. You're going to get Klay Thompson back. Draymond will be healthy. Add some guys in free agency.
I'll tell you what I would do if I were. And he's going to have this type of season. If I were the Warriors and I had the number 1 pick, I would look towards James Wiseman at Memphis. He is an elite big, like an elite big. If he can learn how to shoot the ball, I mean, all these guys are going to be in play. But yeah, I would. Why not? I mean, you're throwing out Jordan Poole and Willie. I mean, Willie Cauley-Stein's a nice player, but he's not. Yeah, he's a tank type of player. They've won enough. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. I think it comes at a perfect storm, too, because you really didn't think they were going to win it again this year. Take 1 step back, take 2 steps forward next year.
I mean, this team coming in, I thought would be a playoff team for sure, and I thought Klay would come back around May or April, and they would make a run. I actually, Donnie, surprisingly enough, I actually bet them to win the NBA title. I took them before the season, I think 12-1, 15-1. And again, for me, why not? I mean, it's the Warriors. I'm getting a great price. They're undervalued. They still have Steph Curry. They still have D'Angelo Russell. Still have Draymond Green. You get Clay back. I mean, I still thought they were a good basketball team, but yeah, it's been a real rough start, man. Real rough start.
Transitioning back to the NFL, Jeff, talk about some of these games yesterday. We talked about the Browns itself at the start of the show, just some of the problems that they're having, but now we're going to translate it on the field. Odell Beckham is invisible. Jarvis Landry looks like he shows up every once in a while, not giving it enough to Nick Chubb. The schemes on offense aren't working, and it just blew up in their face yesterday. You face a guy, Jeff, it's never even taken a snap in an NFL game, finishes the game 2 touchdown passes, outplays your quarterback in Baker Mayfield by making some strategic. Now, yes, look, some of his wide receivers and tight ends made some plays for him. I get it. But you looked at the game yesterday. Denver's the better team on the football field, Jeff, from the opening kickoff all the way through the end of the game. The Browns, I don't know where they go from here from this. This was sort of that last stand. Well, let's see if we can win this. And who knows in the division? They're dead, cooked, and buried. Good luck, man.
Yeah, they were down 5 yesterday with about 7 to go. They had the football. I actually grabbed them live plus 4.5. It's one of my only bad bets this weekend. Yeah, they're again, it's all about culture right now for them, and they just don't have it. I mean, it's a throwaway season. Now you got to play a tough Bills team. You get the Steelers. I mean, you're going to be 2-8. You're going to be 2-7. Season's over.
All right, Jeff, we're going to get to the Eagles and talk, but not really about the Eagles yet.
Can we not?
Because, you could just roll your helmet out and beat the football team. Me and my pops came over for the game. We sat back and watched it, and we just laughed. For the first, 45 minutes of the game, we're saying, isn't this nice? You don't have to sweat anything, and all of a sudden it did actually turn into a sweat. But watching that football game, and I asked my dad this question I'm going to ask you, Jeff. Can you imagine if your offense was run by Mitchell Trubisky and he was the guy you paid all those picks for, used all that draft capital, he's supposed to lead your team? I understand, you're the GM, and if you get rid of Mitchell Trubisky, you're going next right up the door with him. But there is a time we have to do right by the organization and say, menace to society, right, Jeff? You fucked up. You done fucked up. You know it. Pull the plug. Pull the plug on this guy. Let Chase Daniel just ride it out to see if you can do anything or maybe even make a playoff run or even try to get into the playoffs, and go find your quarterback in the offseason. You have a lot of options that you could look at. But it's time. It's done. Mitchell Trubisky is not going to progress into a good NFL quarterback. You got to pull the plug.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you strike out. I mean, we've seen
happens.
Keely Smith, Tim Couch, Ryan Leaf.
Long list, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. He was just a bad talent scout. They were bad talent scouts. Look, I don't think any of us thought Mitchell Trubisky was the number 1 pick. I mean, I watched him at UNC. He was good. I mean, he wasn't great. And he had
was it just he looked the part? You know what I mean? Sure. You had Larry Fedora running the offense. Oh, it's a pro offense.
Sure. And
he's big, strong, good-looking dude with a good arm. We'll make him into a quarterback.
And we have to remember, I mean, you look at the receivers they had there, Donnie. Mac Hollins, you had Elijah Hood. You had guys that were good players there. I mean, that was a system. And Mitchell only really had 1 good year there.
They had one start. I think they started 12 games total.
Yeah, because I remember they had Marquise Williams above him. They had other guys there. He was a 1-year kid. It was bad. It was just a bad pick, and they should be vilified a lot more for what they did to get the pick. It's not like that they were just the number 1 pick and they took him. They actually traded up to get Mitchell Trubisky.
And here's the worst problem about it: you traded up to get him. You spent all that capital. Here's our guy. Jeff, tell these good people, the 2 quarterbacks that went anywhere between from 10 to 13 in that draft that you could have gotten. Can you name those 2 guys?
Carson Wentz.
No, 10 to 13 that year.
Oh, that year. I have no idea. Lamar or
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bad luck. I will say, though, it's definitely a talent problem because I think Matt Nagy's a pretty good coach, personally. Offensively, he's a great mind. It's Mitchell Trubisky's problem. He's not good enough. I will say, though, it would be interesting to see, if he had, if he had, the Lions receivers. Do you think he'd be better?
No, Jeff, I don't think he would let them win, if that makes sense. He doesn't progress through. He doesn't make any throws and say, wow, he threw that guy open or put it right on the money. He had one nice deep ball yesterday when it was 19-0 and the Eagles blew a coverage on the back end. But that's he doesn't my whole cap on yesterday's game, if we were going to take the Eagles, was if the Eagles were up big, which they were, and they actually ended up winning by margin in that game. But if you got in early in the week, there was 4s, 4.5s, and 5s, so a push worst case. I didn't think Mitchell Trubisky could bring you back on like a junk drive to get down the field.
No, you won. You didn't push. It's 22-14.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it before the field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like it was still technically in balance at that point.
Rough beat, to be honest.
Yeah, it was tough.
I mean, and that's where the Eagles are too, from a personnel. Like they had real trouble in that game. Like this team needs to understand you have problems. Donnie, you know what I don't get about the Eagles? Okay, they're the only team in the league. Like there's no team in the league that has had issues for years scouting talent at the receiver position and the corner position. Yeah. It's always something. Since I was born, Donnie, this team has struck out and struck out and struck out. And the only reason they've had any success is because they brought in free agent players like Terrell Owens and Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. They have not.
Djax was the only one.
Well, yeah, outside of him, they have
and
not.
Macklin to a certain.
They have not organically created a wide receiver. They've not. Look at
and that's it. Yeah, but the best part about too, Jeff, that's where you could cheat, right? You could cheat and say, hey, you guys are way better at drafting. How about we give you 2 for your wideout over there, who's already a really good player? Right. Like you could cheat, yes.
And this is why I'm so irritated when they don't go out and get a Robbie Anderson, because they are not good at drafting. They have not organically created a good wide receiver. They're not good at it. They're not.
Even dating back to you have a high draft pick, you go after Freddie Mitchell as opposed to Steve Smith. Yeah, they've always done it, man.
And the thing about them is look, Jeffrey Lurie is a nice guy. He's definitely a good owner, but he's got no fucking backbone. He never comes out and says, this isn't good enough.
No, it's not. See, that's not true because he shit canned Chip Kelly all by himself at one point. But during the seasons, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, well, that had to happen.
I don't mind Jeffrey Lurie because the one thing, the Eagles aren't cheap. They do spend money, but the things they do that are maddening.
I think they're cheap this year. I mean, they know that they have issues, and they've went out with the same thing of, we'll be okay. I told you this would happen, Donnie. They play okay. They just skirt by. And the defense wasn't bad. I thought the defense played well yesterday. Again, though, here's the things we're grading their season on. Yeah. 2 wins against the Bears and Jets. That's really what we're grading them on. This current team, at least.
Well, no, they have to. They beat the Bills and they beat the Packers. No. They have some good wins.
But again, this team yesterday is the most healthy they'll be outside of Deshaun Jackson.
Yes, correct.
So we're really, and that's why
we'll be back after the bye. And all you needed, Jeff, was to go out and say, I'm going to get a legitimate wide receiver that can go deep. That's all you needed. Now we're good.
And that's what I'm basing on these last 2 wins, because that's what this GM group is saying. Well, look, we won these games with who we have. It's got to be better. Dude, the Patriots are going to come in here and fucking destroy this team. What are we – is that what we're doing? We're just skirting by and saying, well, we're okay. We'll chance it. Dude, you're not good enough.
And also, Jeff, I have to get this off my chest as well. With the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL, Jeff, we went on the road 3 straight games, which I don't think anybody else in the NFL had to do it the way the Eagles did it. On the road at Dallas, on the road at Minnesota, on the road at Buffalo. Also play a road Thursday night football game this year. And then you come back and say, man, we finally got our bye and we get the Patriots, right? I can't wait. We're going to get them. We're going to have more time to prepare. The Patriots have a bye. So then also we're going to get Seattle, who's a really good football team. Oh, my God, Seattle's going to come. They're going to have to travel all the way across country. Seattle's going to be coming off their bye when they play the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you for the single worst schedule in NFL history that the Eagles are trying to overcome. But, Jeff, we got to keep it moving. Yesterday, I know you saw it. We were tweeting back and forth. I actually had a good number on this game. So the last second field goal missed by Vinatieri wouldn't have actually hurt me at that point, but I did have him in a pick 6 contest at a pick 'em, so I wanted to win that as well. Push comes to shove. Anna Vinatieri misses a field goal by as wide as a football field. I had to help but laugh when he was about to kick it. But
one of the worst kicks I've seen.
One of the worst, exactly. Like Vanderjack back in the day for the same team, the Colts. Pressure's on the line. You have an old man who made this kick 50,000 times, Jeff, including the week before he made one against Denver to end it. Awful, awful kick. But I have to say, when you start capping NFL and you're looking through it, I have to start weighing more and more and more, Jeff, on the overall coaching staff and the philosophies that they install, because I don't even care that the Colts lost yesterday.
No, don't go down this wavelength, Dottie. Don't even do it. Don't knock Mike Tomlin. Stop.
Well, Mike Tomlin was horrible. I'm talking from an indie perspective.
How is it horrible?
I'm going to get to it in a second. But The team that just doesn't flinch no matter what happens in a football game, what happens during the season, whether you lose a Hall of Fame caliber wideout like the night before, a quarterback the night before the season. Frank Wright is unbelievable, Jeff. And I'm pounding my desk and I'm going, I can't even believe, I should have known better. I should have known coming in. I even saw Jacoby Brissett go down early in the game. Like, man, that is a boon. Yes. And all of a sudden, Hoyer comes in. He did throw that one bad pick, which saved the day. Make it Fitzpatrick back the other way. But he's slicing them up. He's making the right plays. He's a third-string quarterback that gets no time or reps in practice, and he looked like he's been out there all his life and playing. And thank goodness it came down to the end where they missed that field goal anyway. But what a maddening game as we were going back and forth the whole time.
I watched the replay, the condensed highlights of this game, and I got to tell you, I mean, Brian Hoyer was very good, I thought. Outside of that one pick six, he was great.
Yes.
I mean, they've not really missed a beat, and that's
amazing.
Again, I mean, it's all about culture.
No T.Y. Hilton. You have no big, deep threat out there. You're on your third-string quarterback, and here they are playing toe-to-toe.
It was impressive. It really was. I will say this, the Steelers – look, you got to take the fucking handcuffs off Mason Rudolph. Let the guy throw the ball downfield. I mean, seriously. I mean,
and when they did take it off, when they really needed to at the end of the game, they dropped that bomb, which allowed them to get the field goal to actually take the lead back. Yeah.
I will say the second pass interference was horrible. And they challenged it, and still it was wrong. You still didn't get it right. I don't understand this challenge thing, because it's that second, Mike Tomlin, I liked both challenges I would have challenged personally. No, the second one was bad, dude. The second one was not pass interference. And the first one was, I mean, they tangled, but he didn't really touch the guy. I think he just tripped.
The play should have, if the one you're talking about was 2:15 on the clock, the deep ball on 3rd and 10, whatever it was, which went over his head by 20 yards. And it should never have been called pass interference. But the word is on the street that they are not overturning this unless it's a catastrophic play that's going to decide a Super Bowl.
But you got to give it a shot.
You don't anymore. It's clear that they're never going to call it and don't do it. And then the best part about it is Mike Tomlin actually challenged the second one on the sideline that he wanted offensive pass interference called, which the guy got 2 feet in. I'm saying to myself, we're looking at this because you're right. In the grand scheme of things, they won the football game. That should be all that matters. But he put them in a horrible position because if you have 3 timeouts, you don't challenge any of those plays. And Adam Vinatieri, he should have made that field goal with 1:17 on the clock. You would have 3 timeouts, and you can go the length of the field. You could take your time, and you have them all lined up. He burned 2 timeouts when the clock was stopped on both of those plays. The one play, the guy went out of bounds, and the other one was an incomplete pass. I have no idea what he's doing. So if I was an NFL owner, I would say, okay, we got challenges, and I'm going to tell my coaching staff when they come down here, you're allowed to challenge pass interference. But if you get it wrong, Mike, you make $5 million a year, I'm going to take $1 million away from you every time you lose that challenge. They'll never challenge it again. Yeah, you can't challenge pass interference. It doesn't make sense to anyone, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, but again, at least you get another chance to look at it. I've seen they've been overturned. There's been 5 or 6, I think. It's not none.
But you can't in that spot because again,
listen, Donnie, Mike Tomlin's a great coach.
He's a horrible coach. He's a junk coach. He's terrible. Every week,
he's
the
a top 10 coach in the league.
Every week, the Steelers win despite their head football coach.
Nah, he's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
He's better than most.
Well, which isn't saying a lot, but he's not a very good football coach.
He's a top 8 coach in the league.
No, he's not. No way.
All right, we'll make on less busy days. On Wednesday. We'll make a list.
Yes, we're gonna make.
I'll make my list. You make yours. I'll give you my top 10 coaches in the league.
Yes,
because I'm a coach whisperer. I'm good at everything with coaching. All right, what else do we got done?
Raiders yesterday, Jeff. Impressive. I like what they're doing on offense. I can really enjoy it. But this game, I want to get down to for a few moments because look, 7.5 yards per play for the Detroit. And they lost the football game, which is amazing. An amazing interception by an Oakland Raiders point when the Detroit Lions had a 14-10 lead. I thought that was probably the biggest play of the game. But I got to ask you a question here, Jeff. You ready for this one? Now, I saw Danny Amendola come up on the ticker that he got injured, I think, in the third quarter. Did he finish? Do you know if he finished the game out or not? Did he play after he got injured on the ticker? Because I wasn't watching the game all the way through.
Yeah, I didn't see him at least.
I didn't see it. So let's just say he was still back in the game and just got banged up, and the ticker just said he got hurt and came off for a play. I'm going to ask you this question, Jeff. You fight to get back in this game. You go all the way down. Stafford throws for over 400 yards. You get to the 1 yard line. Oakland calls timeout, which I have no idea what Oakland was doing. Jeff, do you know Detroit ran that final play? No Marvin Jones, no Kenny Golladay, no Danny Amendola. A play action pass where they had a bunch of tight ends out on the field.
Tight end.
Are you kidding, Jeff? Are you?
No, it was terrible.
You guys don't know me and Jeff, we go back and forth all day long on Skype and have fun. What's going on in these games? Doing this.
By the way, the last quarter, like the Eagles game, I was like out in the fucking concourse watching the games on TV.
Yeah,
like I didn't aisle seats, so I was just But no, it was a terrible play call. I didn't understand it either. And the announcer even said, I don't know who was doing the game, but they even said like, you have Golladay, Jones, and Jeff, even Ebron.
Both well over no, we don't have Ebron, Jeff. Ebron is on.
He's on the Colts. Right. I was confused.
Both over 100.
Who do they have? Hawkinson.
Hawkinson, the young kid. Yeah, both over 100 yards. Your wide receivers are killing that whack secondary. And even Jeff, if you don't throw to him, do you know what Oakland has to do? Hey guys, Galladay's over here. Jones is over here. Amendola's in the slide. Then your tight end's wide open. I can't even believe.
Donnie, you know what you and I should do in our later lives?
What?
Coach a team, you and I.
Yes, I do want to.
Seriously, you and I would win every game.
Like I don't like it's simple concepts. Like if you watch that last play where they had one play, and let's just say, which I don't even like this play. If
Donnie,
they threw a fade, if they just threw a fade to Kenny Golladay on the last play of the game and pass interference, it fell incomplete or nothing happened. They didn't score. You know what you would say? Ah, damn. All right, we'll try to get them next week. Was the right play. The minute that play got done, I had to go back and rewind it because I wanted to see like the personnel. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me here. Like, did anybody think that they were actually going to run the football with like fifth string running backs that they brought into the football game? Whose fucking play call was that?
Yeah, I don't have any idea. It's maddening, some of these coaches. And it's the whole league. I mean, the whole league is inept in the red zone. It's wild.
No, it is. All right, let's keep going here, Jeff. Russell Wilson yesterday. The single most influential player to his team. That's what I was just going to say. Like, I don't even want to sound over dramatic, Jeff, but has a single guy meant more to his entire city and franchise than Russell Wilson ever will? I don't know how you stop. Like, we bet against him, and he almost lost yesterday. And if you got in early, you won at 6.5. But most people, if you bet yesterday, 5.5s, 4s, you end up losing that game. He is so hard to bet. Like, we did it a couple weeks ago and won with the Baltimore Ravens. But when you play against Russell Wilson, it's not even like we call it luck box football every time we watch. I guess it's not anymore. I guess it works. I just throw punts up in the air. My guys always make plays, and nobody can tackle me. If it's 3rd and 19 or 3rd and 1, it's an automatic first down, no matter what's I don't know. I give up. He's just a joy to watch. And if you just said today, Jeff, like I want to be paid like $300 million on a guaranteed contract, Seattle should give it to him.
They're a team that I think is a sleeper. You got to start getting involved with that.
Stinks. Why does their D stink?
Nah, I just think yesterday they just I think it was just one of those games where it was like, let's just shoot it out here. We got to shoot it out. Every game Tampa plays is like that. Like I don't think the defenses are bad that they play against. I just think they just make the game that way. But no, I think their defense will be okay. But listen, I was legitimately wrong on DK Metcalf. He's been a great player for them, man. I mean, he's given them a lot of help, and Josh Gordon's going to be nice there as well. That's going to be interesting. So we'll see. I like Seattle. Wilson's terrific. Best quarterback in the league. You know what's funny about him too is I say this to people, if you haven't played like football at like different levels, like I mean Pee-wee football or high school, there's certain quarterbacks that throw catchable footballs. I like to call them pillows. And I've had them throughout my career where you warm up with a guy or you're in a game situation and he throws that, like the ball gets there, but it's real soft and it's so easy to catch. Like Carson Wentz throws bullets all over the place, which is fine and great, and he gets to his spot. But when you watch Russell Wilson play, Jeff, there's a reason why his wide receivers make so many plays. The balls that he throws, the deep outs, the long looping plays, the balls that just fall into your hands, he has a great catchable ball. I want to move it over to this team, Jeff, because I'm interested the rest of the way. They're getting healthy now, and that's the Chargers, who yesterday absolutely dismantled the Green Bay Packers. And if you watched all week long that line, it didn't make sense, and 12% of the bets were coming into the Chargers, you knew why yesterday. The Chargers just blew them out of the building. Now you got Phillip Rivers. He has all his weapons. Hunter Henry's back making plays. Keenan Allen's healthy again. Williams on the one side. All three running backs are back. You got your tandem on the defensive line pressuring quarterbacks. Defenders are coming back in a couple weeks, Jeff. You know who's coming back? Mr. Derwin James.
watch out for the Chargers moving forward here.
Yeah, could be too little too late for them. But yeah, no, I mean, the kickers are healthy. Everybody's looking healthy. Yeah. Listen, the Packers just weren't ready to play yesterday. I've heard some rumors that they got in late and they got there late. It was just, I mean, it was rough for sure.
Ravens, Jeff, at night, one of the more enjoyable games. I think we're not really, our team is the Eagles, but you can enjoy football where a coaching staff is coaching at an elite level. We talk about Frank Reich. It's a lot of fun. No matter what happens, they're always prepared. They're in the right positions. It's really, really, really fun to watch the Baltimore Ravens right now, the way they operate on offense, where they're putting in Lamar Jackson. We talk about where Baker Mayfield ends up with Freddie Kitchens. I got a question for you here, Jeff, before we talk about this game. Lamar Miller, right? Let's just say he got drafted to Cleveland and Lamar Jackson, got drafted to Cleveland and had Freddie Kitchens as a head coach. We'd probably be laughing, put that guy wide out, he stinks. Isn't it amazing when you get that whole organization behind you and say, you know what? You're not the most accurate passer, but boy, you can run. Watch this offense I'm going to build so you can succeed out here. It's so refreshing. It's fun to watch, man. It is.
I think another business, Donnie, we should get in is the agent business.
Yes. No, the GM. We should run a team. Yes. We want to run a team.
I would just like to advise kids on what to do and what not to do. It's I think it would work really well. Donnie, you know that guy Flash that works for SBR?
Yes. Yeah.
He did that for a while. He was he was kind of he would work with young players in England.
Send them to juniors, send them Chelsea's juniors.
Yeah, he would help them with their transition to being a professional and advise them what to do and what not to do. I would love to do that. I think it'd be helpful. Yeah, it's sad really because I'm telling you, you put Baker in Arizona even or somewhere where there's a leader, some guy that can help you. I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, hey, Baker, I watched you in college. You really run this style of Oklahoma really well. We're going to try to put some of those attributes in our offense as opposed to going, I'm Freddie Kitchens. I'm a genius, bro.
If I were – who's the owner in Cleveland?
It's Haslam, the Haslam family. Okay. Those idiots.
I mean, I don't know much about their monetary situation, but –
yeah, they own Flying – they own a ton of
Flying J.
Flying J, yeah, exactly, which was under indictment and all that stuff.
Here's what I would do if I were them. Okay, when the season's over, I would find $10 million a year, and I would go knock on Oklahoma's door, and I'd say, "Hey, Lincoln, this is your team. You can do whatever you want. We'll give you anyone you need, and we'll give you $10 million a year to coach here. You got your guy Baker. That would be the guy."
Yep, John Dorsey answers to you.
No, fuck him too. He's gone too. Get him out of there. Go. You know who I'd hire, Donnie? That cat on ESPN, Riddick.
Riddick? Yeah.
I'd hire him or someone like that, and Lincoln Riley. That would be the only guy I would bring in. The only guy. It'd work perfect. It just would.
No, there has to be a change up there. But it was nice seeing the Ravens and you saw New England finally go down. They actually played somebody and got shelled. And how about it didn't look, Jeff? 17-0, dude, they're going to get boat raced. And, of course, like the Patriots, get a fumble on a punt, get a fumble on a run here. It was nice to see, as I was dozing off late, Edelman gets stripped and the ball go the other way for a touchdown. That's the dagger right there. Thank you. And then they just blew the doors.
Yeah, that was the dagger in the heart.
Because they were driving, and I'm going to say, dude, they're really going to take the lead. No,
Edelman don't fumble either.
No, can Edelman open his eyes all the way? Have we ever worked on why can't he open his eyes more than a crack? You know what I mean?
He looks high all the time.
Why is that? Yeah, maybe he is during the game. I don't know.
Yeah, CBD or whatever it's called.
All right, Jeff. Real quick before we get out of here, Monday Night Football, the NFC East. Hey, I mean, it is what it is tonight. I think Dallas is going to win this football game. Can they win by margin, Jeff? I like it a lot better now that it's sitting. I think the last time I checked below 6.5. Actually, it's coming back a little bit. So it's 6.5. 6 is actually showing up on the board, which I couldn't quite figure out because you get a rested and ready Dallas team, one of the best offenses in football against a team that can't stop anybody. But yet the Giants are going to rise up and win this game?
Yeah, I'm going to just approach just like I did with the Lions 2 weeks ago. Team total over for the Cowboys. I'm just going to stick with worrying about their offense because I think they're going to move the football. We've talked about Grant Haley, Janoris Jenkins, that group.
Baker, one of the worst.
Yeah, DeAndre Baker. Yeah. They're not good enough. They just aren't. You have guys that can't cover. They're one of the worst pass defenses in the league. They get no pressure.
Nice weather, 50 degrees, light wind.
Yeah, I think if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm throwing the football, and they know that. Jason Garrett knows that. You got everybody healthy now with Gallup and Cooper.
Offensive
Everybody's
line ready to
yeah,
go. One of the best in
yeah.
football. Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a team total at 5 dimes, 27.5.
Bang it.
I'm interested highly because here's the thing. I don't want to bet against Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. I just don't. I don't love the Cowboys. I mean, it's good. It's not great. I think they'll get enough stops. I also, Donnie, have a lot to worry about with this number. I mean, there's nobody backing the Giants here. I mean, this is a stone cold public sharp split. I mean, sharps will be on. And again, with the thing with the Giants, they were at 7 at one point, right?
It was actually opened up 7.5 in that range.
Yeah,
Seven. Now we're
gone.
below. It's 6.5 is the true number right now.
The number's gone. The only way to bet this game is Giants team total or Dallas team total over. It's that simple.
I got to tell you too, Jeff, betting philosophy, because I don't know if you're going to tell them what we're going to do tonight, but we're going to break down some things on like college basketball, like ways to bet, how you can do it. I got to tell you, Jeff, starting in the summer, like around that May area, really flipping over and not totally shutting down like sides, because I won some sides yesterday, but the team totals where I'm starting to really get into, and I wanted to ask you a question before we got out of here on this. College basketball, I know you haven't done it that much, but there's so many analytics out there now. Are you going to open it up to like maybe just saying like, hey, Boston College or Ohio State or, North Carolina, like over 7? Is that even going to enter in, or is it just different in football where it's easier to try to factor it in?
Well, I think it's definitely factored in because of obviously pace nowadays and the ability to shoot the basketball, all that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, like North Carolina, for instance, coming into the season, they're going to score 90 points a game. I mean, their offense is unbelievable.
Like, isn't it like, because you said the same thing that I started being a real firm believer, because I always messed around, but I never really had a monitor now that I do that can actually track team totals. And I'm saying to myself, like, why wouldn't we just say, you know what? I don't care how the other team actually performs. Like, I just want to isolate what I think. The same way you're taking the approach, which I love the approach, by the way, on the Dallas Cowboys game. Let me just worried about saying, you know what? A touchdown a quarter is doable tonight. And I don't care if Daniel Jones gets inside the red zone and doesn't score and it drives me crazy. It has no bearing because my factor's on that. Yes, correct.
Just I want to isolate my with that's a good point with you on team totals. A lot of the time, the way I handicap, particularly college basketball, really anywhere, is I'm looking at all different sort of metrics: pace, possessions, the offense that they're running, amount of threes they're taking, free throw percent, all that stuff. It's all a combination of one thing: can they score on this defense? Some teams just aren't good against certain defenses in college basketball, for instance. Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. I've done it a lot more. And then I look at teams that I think are going to have major problems, and I kind of it's simple, Donnie. So if I'm doing, for instance, just a college game, a basketball game, I don't know, Liberty against Lipscomb, whatever. I'm looking at the team the other way as well, and I'm creating a score in my head. I think the score is going to be 78-71.
They're going to be winning, so they're going to be at this pace, or no matter what happens in this game, they're just going to run their offense, and their second string is still going to be able to put up points against the other team. I agree, because I haven't really looked at it that much in the past at college basketball, but I'm finding real success in the NFL on it and unbelievable success in Major League Baseball. I want to see if it translates to college basketball and, with the lines, because I know you'll talk about it again later when we talk about like getting in and after, these all these conferences. Can we get team totals on like Abilene Christian coming forward? That's what I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to obviously have to really look for that stuff. I don't think, as far as I know, but what we're going to do tonight, guys, is Donnie's going to host it.
Yep.
I'm just going to be there to kind of answer questions. We're going to come up with, I don't know, whatever amount of questions we have, and we're just going to talk about college basketball. What
the season, exactly. Jeff's got a good. He came to me. Jeff came to me this morning. He's like, dude, we got to do a college basketball show. I'm like, dude, I'll tee you up on whatever, because I know the people would really like it. So we'll do it tonight. We'll have some fun.
It's not necessarily going to be like, what do you think of Abilene Christian?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not really going to be that.
It's a primer. It's like, dude, tomorrow is college basketball. Look at these games tomorrow. I got questions already lined up, which I'm just going to tease them. Like, who's going to be a stud tomorrow? Like, after tomorrow's games, who are you going to know that's going to be a legit college basketball player?
Important to mention is like tomorrow college basketball starts.
Yep.
But you have to remember, like, you really are
ballroom betting, Jeff. Come on.
Right. But unless and that's not even the thing. All these games tomorrow are in gyms. Like, they're not traveling or anything. Yeah. A lot of the handicap you're going to do, and why most of the public should not be betting until 2 weeks from now, I'm going to tell you right now. because I'm not tooting my own horn here. I just know more than most people. Like, it's just simple. I do more work. I sit here and I can tell you about Sam Houston State and Loyola, Maryland. That's the only way you really have to know kind of what this team can do and what they can't do. So for most people, my advice to you would be really don't be betting every game. Like, pick one or two games out, really master those two games and run with them. Like, people are saying, like, how excited are you for college ball? I'm not. It's business as usual for me. Like, I'm coming in and this is what I do. Tonight, though, check it out. We'll do 9 o'clock tonight on this channel. We'll go out and go through as many as we can. We'll talk about as many questions as we can. It's related to the chat box, but a lot of it are going to be questions that I've come up with, that Donnie's come up with, and we're going to just run with them there.
By the way, before we get out of here, Jeff, Horse Racing Breeders' Cup. Do we get any winners, Jeff?
Yeah, I killed it. I killed it.
Now, how did you do against the pundits, Jeff? Because I know I wasn't seeing a lot of people out there tooting their own horn that they were winning races.
Well, I actually had one Donnie angle in the races. My angle was the trainer, and not the trainer, the jockey. Certain trainers are good, but the jockey that I wanted was Flavien Prat, Donnie, the French guy. Yeah. Loved him. He's great at that racetrack. It's his home track. Donnie, Friday afternoon, I see in the juvenile, I think it was around like 6 o'clock, 6:30. He's on a horse called Storm the Court, Donnie.
Yeah, come on, man. Screaming your name.
So I see it, and I was on the show live, Donnie. I was doing my NBA show. And I say, we got to bet that horse. I got to bet that horse. Closes 50-1, Donnie. Who do you think's on Storm the Court?
Big man on campus.
The Pratt guy. He was riding that horse. Donnie, the horse was the front runner the whole way.
Wire to wire.
Comes to the top of the stretch, and I'm like, I'm saying even live, I'm watching race. I'm like, this horse is going to die. There's no fucking way. Donnie, he's leading the whole way. It was literally close. It was like a close to a photo finish. He ends up hitting. I hit an exacta right before that. It was it was just great. I was betting Aqueduct yesterday, even late last night, Donnie. I was betting harness races.
It's fun because they're one after another. Like, they just keep on ripping. Yeah, and you can rip. The technology allows you to actually watch the races and have fun with it.
TVG, man, I'm telling you, like, it's been quick for me, but I've really fallen in love with it, man. Like, I'm serious. Like, last night, I was betting Pompton Park harness races and Los Alamitos, which is, Donnie, you ever see a horse race that's 300 yards?
Yeah, the sprints.
Sprints, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I was betting those. I'm just doing exactas. And, like, I'm not a professional. Like, sometimes I just look at races and I'm like, I like that horse. But a lot of the time, those TVG guys are good. Like, they know what they're talking about. Yeah, I hit a couple. It was a fun week, man. Real fun. All right, before we go, Donnie, a couple questions here. Am I selling picks? Yeah, Donnie sells picks. I do too. I will be doing that. What's my play for today? Don't have anything. Keep your mouth shut. He's not going to do what you want him to do. You've turned into a real never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Any thoughts on the Houston Rockets game? I had the winner last night. Listen, Houston shouldn't be laying points. Donnie, Houston this year, 0-6 is a favorite.
That's your boy, though, man. Come on. Did we get a triple-double last night out of him or what?
No, he's minus 46.
Oh, he don't care about that.
But all right, we're wrapping it up. I got to go anyway. I got to do a phone call here. Donnie, we'll be on later, 9 o'clock Eastern, guys. Join us for it. If you can't watch it live, check it on a replay. It'll always be there. It's
Christmas Eve, man. We'll have fun tonight. Who's not looking forward to tomorrow, man? Another sport entering into our lives, Jeff. Does it get any better? Doesn't.
No, you just got to make sure you're tiptoeing. Don't be that guy that has to bet on everything.
Max wager on Duke in the Garden, Jeff.
Yeah, like college basketball is like, it's touchy. I'm actually not really doing anything official, Donnie, until November 18th. That's my day one that I'm getting started. But all right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys later, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll talk college basketball, get you ready for the season, getting going tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. He's Donnie Rightside. I'm the big man on campus. Also, NBA show, 6:30. I'll be there live. Donnie, 13-2 on the season right now. It's time to keep it going. Have a great night. See ya.